Hey, I'm Jiso, and in today's video we're going to go over every single spirit guide trial that you have to beat in order to unlock certain gemstones, all the outfits, and even some red hats. It is important to note that in order to get every single reward to the trials, you have to also beat some bonus objectives, and in my opinion some of them can be very tricky to achieve, and this is why this video is here. When it comes to those trials, I'll say where you have to shoot at targets. It's pretty straightforward. All you have to do is like a race, but you also have to hit a certain number of targets. My advice would be to use your double jump every single time you feel that confident about hitting your target, because if you don't know, whenever you jump, time is going to slow down. But if on top of that slow down time you also concentrate, it's going to make it so that you have two layers of slow down time, allowing you to hit even more targets faster, because yes, the timer also slows down when you are using slow-mo. So use that to advantage, and I think in no time you're going to beat those challenges. They're not very hard, you just have to hit your targets. When it comes to the wounds Courtyard challenge, I think the hardest bonus objective is to not get hit. Right? Is to not get hit, and you want to be very careful and always have everybody in your line of sight, because the game does not feature an indicator telling you exactly if someone is about to attack you or is about to throw something at you. You can never tell, and you can get hit by stones, because sometimes they can throw stones at you, and if you can't see them coming, well, you're in trouble. Also be very careful when it comes to those shielded enemies. They can take a hit and they can retaliate pretty fast. My advice would be to create space, but also when you use your power shot with your arrow, it can go through multiple enemies if they are lined up. So use that to your advantage. If you see that enemies are lined up, position yourself in a way so that when you shoot the first time, it's going to go through everybody else and hit them in like some kind of it's very good to dispose of them, especially those little guys. If you shoot very well, you can kill 3 to 4 people at once, which is very, very useful. For this challenge, you have to beat the Strong Guardian under 3 minutes while also destroying his herd. And in order to destroy his herd, all you have to do is deal enough damage, and he's going to transition into that attack. And if you have enough courage, then that's how you do it. You're going to have the option to send your rods, and then boom, he's down. I'll say the hardest thing in this challenge is to avoid those little guys, because they can be very annoying. It's very hard to see them because they're so tiny, and my advice would be just focus on the Shrine Guardian and don't mind those little guys, because it's going to make the fight way longer. Only deal with them if you have to deal with them. This is the second Forest Courtyard challenge, and in this challenge I think the hardest thing to do is to use those pistols to kill 20 enemies. In order to do that, it actually took me a lot of tries. In order to do that, what you want to do is lower the enemy's health low enough not to kill them, so that when you use the pistols, it kills them instantly. I'll say don't try to do it multiple times in a row. Just wait for them to be actually very low on health to do that. Right? Don't want to use all the pistols at once. You really want to make it count, because if it's a set number of there is a set number of them. If you use them all without killing 20 enemies, well, you have to restart no matter what. So it doesn't even matter if you are about to complete the challenge if you do not kill those 20 enemies. They can kill sometimes I'll say, it all depends on how they hit the enemies. Sometimes if they are very close to them, the explosion is going to kill them. But some other times, that's why you really want to make sure they are on the verge of dying and they are in a direct line of sight with the pistol. Because sometimes if they are behind or covered, I'll say protected by a tree, it's not going to hit them. It's not going to go around the tree to hit them. And if you pay attention to your surrounding and, well, lower their health enough, GG, you get the challenge, and it's all about defeating enemies now. In the last wave, those purple monkeys are going to spawn, and you want to kill them ASAP because they can shoot those exploding projectiles, and it's very annoying. It's very annoying, especially if you already have that samurai kind of guy who can also shoot from afar. So my advice is build up enough courage so that you can shoot them with your power shot and kill them in one shot, because they are very annoying. The fight against corrupt Taro is on the hard one, mostly because this is not his New Game Plus variation. It's the one you fought in the normal game. If you want to effectively and easily dodge his attacks, all you have to do is press circle the moment he's about to attack you. You have a lot of high frames and invincibility when you use your backflip. So use that and don't try to panic dodge. That's how you get caught. Use your bombs. Use your bombs wisely, because that's how you can deal a lot of damage very fast, making the fight last not so long. Again, you really want to wait for the perfect opportunity to dodge, because if you dodge too early, you're going to get hit. That's how it works in this fight. The enemies have, I'll say, disgusting tracking, and they're going to punish you if you panic, roll, or dodge. So again, wait for the time they are about to attack you or hit you to dodge. Soon enough, he's going to transition to phase 2. And in phase 2, to beat the challenge, the bonus objective, all you have to do is wait for him to perform his grab attack and hit the lantern. It can be tricky because, well, if you miss, you can possibly die. So just be careful, slow down time, jump, double jump. I feel like all those other trials you did up until now are going to be useful in every other challenge, especially the ones where you have to fight a lot of enemies. So in no time you should defeat Taro. Again, use your bombs, and it's a pretty easy fight. This is our first obstacle course, and it's pretty simple. All you have to do is race to the finish line while collecting all the whips and all the feathers. The whips are essentially going to show you the way to go, but in order to collect all the feathers, you may have to step out of the way. So it's very important to plan ahead what route you're going to take. Time is very important here, so don't waste time. If you feel like you didn't jump fast enough or didn't hit that bomb fast enough, just restart. You don't want to go all the way to the end only to realize, oh, I'm 1 second over the required time. So In this challenge, we need to defeat the Stone Guardian, which is just a beefed up version of the Strong Guardian, in 3 minutes, while also destroying all of his gemstones. Now, the gemstones are going to be exposed every single time you throw a bomb at him. The only downside is, well, you cannot shoot all of them at the same time. You have to, shoot them one at a time, because the moment you shoot one of the gemstones, well, they're all going to hide. And I think the hardest thing in this fight is to deal with the little guys. Oh, those little guys are so annoying. I don't know if it's the master difficulty, but they just never stop running. They really want to kill you. And it's really hard to focus on the giant when you have all those other guys chasing you. And if they jump, when you are in the bubble, which your bomb creates, where time is slowed down. If they jump while attacking, they're going to be slowed down, but they're still going to be in the animation while they're attacking. So chances are, if you are in there, by the time time is not slowed down, they're going to get hit. So just be very careful about that, right? If you see that jump, don't assume that they're going to be stopped just because they are slowed down. And I feel like this is all you need to know to defeat the Stone Guardian. By himself, he's not strong. He can sometimes throw, I'll say, boulders at you, but that's the only thing he can do. In this challenge, what we need to do is defeat all the enemies under 9 minutes while also killing 5 of them using the Rot Cloud. The Rot Cloud is that monster made out of rot that you can summon using a flower. But in this challenge, you have no flower to, I'll say, constantly summon your Rot Cloud, and instead is only going to spawn. You're only going to be able to use that attack in the 3rd or 2nd phase. When you defeat enough enemies, some of them will drop the Rot Cloud, and what my advice would be, when it's dropped, wait for the enemies to actually be low on health, or I'll say 5 or 4 to use it, because the moment, I'll say, there is a mini boss with you in the room, and if he hits your Rot Cloud even once, it's going to disappear. So you really want to use the Rot Cloud only when you know you're going to kill some enemies, because again, the moment that thingy hits them, they're gone. So I think you only need to do it twice if you play your cards right, and your challenge is done. And also, here's a little advice: that lizard monster thingy, sometimes he will shoot at you, right? You're going to see that his throat is going to glow purple or pink, and if you shoot it with your power shot, you can deal a lot of damage and also interrupt him. But right off the bat, it's not a hard fight. I'll say I feel like those flying annoying thingies are the hardest thing to deal with, because, well, there's just so many and he can spawn them endlessly. But by himself, he's super easy. In this fight, we go against the corrupt Woodsmith. He's a step up from Taro. He can be pretty tricky. You cannot straight up damage him. You need to, I'll say, damage the core he's linked to, and by the time you deal enough damage, he's going to, be he'll start malfunctioning. I mean, she will start malfunctioning, and then you can deal a lot of damage. Here is a great opportunity to use your bombs to slow down time, right? As long as you keep the aggro and you keep beating the shit out of her, you're going to make the fight last not so long. Usually, people like to play passive, but well, I think the more aggressive you are, the more rewarded you're going to be. So keep attacking her even while she's hating those things. Like just go in there. All you need to do is beat her under 3 minutes while also destroying her core. Now her core is going to spawn in her second phase, and when it's exposed, all you have to do is shoot it, just like you shot the gemstones out of the giants. And the fight is over and the Woodsmith is dead. This challenge is a little bit different than the other ones you had to complete, involving shooting worthy birds. In this fight you also need, in this challenge you also need to not take damage, because halfway through the trial a lot of enemies are going to spawn. I feel like this is a difficulty in this particular trial, is to not get hit. Remember that you can use your power shot to shoot through multiple worthy birds at a time, and just pay attention not to get hit. That's all you need to know and all you have to do. Hopefully you can. It's pretty forgiving. In my experience, they have a lot of worthy birds in this challenge, so don't just restart because you missed 2 or 3 shots. They have plenty more waiting for you. So good luck, and hopefully you make it without taking damage. Oh my god, I love this obstacle course. It is so intense and so well thought. I really hope Amber Labs just don't give up on the game and just move on, because I feel like we can still have some more Spirit Guide trials. We can still have some more content. The game is awesome, and I don't want them to let Kena die. Kena, whatever. So for this particular challenge, oh my god, you need to be very resourceful and very fast. You don't want to, if you die, chances are you're not going to make it. So you need to be perfect. And the hardest thing for this challenge is to collect all the feathers, because they are well hidden. Some of them are obvious, and some other ones are not so obvious. So just collecting the whips isn't gonna cut it. You also need the feathers, and in this video you're going to see how exactly you can collect all of them in a single in the single run. And also here you want to have your rods interact with that lever on the wall, so that you can open that door, because you don't want to go right. If you go on the right path, it's going to land nowhere, right? You want to follow the left path, so that you can make it all the way here to the flower. Otherwise you won't be able to hit the flower. And here is possibly the hardest feather to get. You can see it already on the top of that pillar. It's a tricky one. It's honestly a tricky one to get, mostly because if you get hit there, well, chances are you're going to not make it in time. You have 15 minutes give or take to spare, so maybe you're allowed to get hit just once. This fight is annoying, not because it's hard, but because that third bonus objective is just straight up annoying. All you have to do is shoot an arrow at Toshi, and then he's going to deflect it, and you have to deflect it back. The only problem is if you stay too far away from him, he may deflect it in every direction except yours. So my advice is stand close to him. That way maybe you have more chance to have him reflect it towards you, and be ready to parry, because it's going to come very, very fast. And by the time you do that, the rest is just simply defeating him. And I'm also using the bravery gemstone, not the gemstones, charmstone. Yeah, they were introduced in New Game Plus, and the one I'm using tremendously increases the amount of courage I get. And if you don't know, courage is those bubbles, those yellow bubbles I get every time I hit an enemy. And if they fill really fast, it allows me to get even more courage using even more bombs, and the fights can be over really, really fast. So I already made a video about how to get it. You should get it. It's going to be helpful throughout all those combat challenges. Thank me later. Honestly, thank me later. oh boy, this one is hard. This one is hard not because of the bonus objective, because you can actually complete right off the bat if you parry those two guys straight away. The only problem with this particular encounter is the fact that the last phase is so hard. The last wave is really hard, and because you cannot use flowers to heal, you have to rely on not getting hit at all. But even if you get hit, don't die. In my experience, I always made it to the last phase, but I always failed to complete it because you have those guys, those super beefy guys, which cannot be interrupted. I mean, they can. Using L1 and R1 is a great way to build up courage and a great way to interrupt enemies sometimes. It's not going to work against everybody, but it's going to work against a lot of them, right? Even that guy, that shielded guy, can be interrupted if you dash straight up into him. So it's not actually a big deal. He has a shield, but again, this is New Game Plus. You have all your skills and all the things you unlocked before. So pretty easy, pretty easy. But oh my god, the last one is tricky. Even destroying the Kappa is super annoying because they can disappear, right? And time is very important here. You have 4 ways, right? You have 4 ways. Time is very important. You may look at those 8 minutes and think you have enough time, but trust me, you don't. Wait, is it 4 ways or 5 ways? I don't remember. But yeah, my advice is also to be aggressive. I mean, not like that. That was just stupid. But if you do not beat the Kappa in this phase right here, it's going to take even more time to defeat her. So just take a risk. Just do it, right? Just go in there and beat her ass. It took me 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours to beat this one challenge. I'm not kidding, it was really hard. Really hard. This is the most Dark Souls fight you will ever find in the game. Fighting 2 bosses at once and just beating them is already a core. But now you have to beat them. You have to beat them while also completing the bonus objectives. Hitting the guards, that the warriors had off isn't hard. You can do that by using your power shots or just regular arrows. Now, the hunter can sometimes shoot the guy, and she has those explosive arrows. You can tell when she's about to do it. It's like if it glows, and all you have to do is parry that one attack, and that's it. But guess what? The fight isn't over, because yeah, you still have to beat them, and here's a very important. I think this is the most important thing in order to beat this challenge. You want to kill them both at the same time, because guess what? This is just, you have to fight all three of them. Thank God you don't have to fight all three of them at the same time, but by the time you kill either the warrior or the hunter, the mask maker is going to spawn. It's still going to be a 2v1. So you don't want that to happen, and you want to manage their health so that you kill them at the same time. Also be very careful. You never want to be not able to dash through attacks, because in the second phase they can, I'll say they can both do those things, you know, those create those gigantic shock waves, and sometimes because they have their coordination is amazing, honestly amazing. It feels like they can read what you're going to do, and sometimes they can use their shockwaves at the same time. And guess what? If you don't have enough, I'll say, focus to dash through the attack, you're going to get hit. They're really good at protecting each other. Honestly, this fight, this single fight is more Dark Souls than Dark Souls. And if you play the game, you probably know what I'm talking about, because oh my god, it is hard. The warrior is easy to deal with, but sometimes the hunter can disappear completely from your field of view and appear behind you, but you can always hit her in the head with a normal arrow to, you know, to get her out of the animation where she's shooting you. But it only works every time you do that. You have to wait for her to attack again, so that it feels like her counter is going to reset, because you cannot stun her twice in a row. You have to stun her once and then wait for her to like reset, attack you, and then do it again. It's very important to always have both of them in your line of sight whenever you are hitting one of them. Never turn your back on them. As you can see, they are very good. Their coordination is amazing. Manage their health, hit them both at the same time, kill them at the same damn time. Otherwise, you're going to have a headache fighting the hunter and the mask maker, because both of them can disappear. You want to heal before the mask maker shows up, because he's going to attack you right off the bat, and if you were on your last hit, you are going to die, and you're going to throw away all your progress, which is very sad. So to deal with the mask maker, you can easily backflip. It's the best way to deal with his attack, because he can, you know, he also has those minions he can spawn, so you cannot afford to lose your shield. You can also use your dash to interrupt him whenever he's about to attack. I also used a lot of that new ability they introduced, the new upgrade. When you throw a bomb, you can shoot it so that it can, I think it can split into multiple mini bombs, and it's very useful because it can kill 3 enemies at once. Use it wisely. The only problem now is that you have to beat the game, I mean the trial, by also completing the last bonus objective. Now for this one, you need to shoot. He's going to perform a trap attack, and what you want to do when the time comes is to only shoot the one who is going to shoot you, the real mask maker, and not any of the other guys. Now while you are trapped, remember that the enemies can come into the trap, but you cannot step out of it, so be careful. You can easily die here. I died here because I wasn't looking. So they're going to go around you, but at some point they're all going to stop. When they stop, one of them is going to try to shoot you, and that's the one you want to hit. Double jump to extend the duration before he shoots you, because it can go pretty fast. Rotate your camera to see it happen very fast, and by the time you do that, he is going to die. He actually tried to do that twice. Bastard. That fight is so annoying. Not because he's hard, but because you already fought those 2 other guys by the time you came here. GG. I don't plan on redoing that again. I mean, maybe because it was fun, dangerously fun, Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you were also able to unlock all the outfits. I really love the last one, the gatekeeper outfit. And oh god, if you found this video, I'll say interesting, entertaining, or I'll say if you learned something, be sure to drop a like, to subscribe, because oh my god, I went through a lot to make it happen. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon.